When I was in my early 50s, I became single again after being married and in a relationship for close to 20 years. Being single again in my early 50s was extremely confusing for me. While I was married, I became a Christian, a very dedicated and devoted Christian. But before I was married, in my 30s, I was not a Christian. I was living in Southern California in the beach area. Life was entirely different. During my 20s and 30s, it was the season of women's lib, and I wasn't a Christian and didn't really know anything about God or what God wanted me to do. In my early 50s, I became single again, but the world had changed in that period of time, and so had I. I had to move from my home that I had lived in for a number of years. Instead of having my son with me full time and being able to pray for him at night, each night, I had him every other week. So for 1 week, I was totally single by myself. And then the next week, I had my son with me and I was a parent again, but I was a parent by myself. I decided to start this channel to share a lot of the wisdom that I've learned over the years because when I first became single again, I didn't know anything about Christian dating or even Christian marriage for that matter. When I was in my early 50s, I did end up meeting somebody. That relationship was a challenge in many ways because I was used to interacting with one person who was my wife a certain way, and the person I met was totally different. And so she was a nice person, but we had a real hard time communicating. It was like a cat and a dog trying to communicate to each other. And I thought the problem was her problem. Little did I know at the time that really wasn't her problem. She was used to being married for about 20 years, and we both had our ways of communicating and relating to our spouses. But when we got together, when we met, both of us had been divorced. When we met, both of us were carrying wounds from the past, and both of us past hurts and wounds and ways of communicating and relating to our spouses from the past. And that just didn't work in our new relationship. And we met and fell in love. And a few years after my divorce, we got married, but it didn't last long. It didn't even last a year, unfortunately, although we're still friends all these years later. What we ended up having was a rebound marriage, and I don't blame her for the failure of that marriage because, quite frankly, as a Christian man, I should have been able to lead better, but I didn't know anything about marriage. I didn't know anything about dating back then. So anyway, purpose of this channel is to share what I have learned, and I've learned a lot. Read a lot of books on Christian dating, and of course, studied the Word of God in connection with Christian dating. And this whole channel is going to be focused on Christian dating and Christian marriages.